Hi, it's Naomi. I wanted to work out this system of equations by graphing and just go through the process of how I would graph each one of these equations. So here I'm given f of x equals x minus 1 and g of x equals negative 2x plus 5. And I want to graph those so that I can see where the lines cross, because I know where the lines cross is the solution to the system. It's a point that's on both lines. It's a point that makes both equations true, and we know that that is what we mean when we talk about systems of equations and the solution to the system of equation. So to graph this first one, I personally would use the slope and the intercept to graph it rather than finding points. You could also, to find points. You could substitute in values you want for x if you want 0, 1, 2, 3, whatever values you want for x, and they would give you points as well to graph. So here, but myself, I would use slope, and the slope here, since there's no number in front of that x, we know if we just say x, we mean 1x. So the slope here is 1, and if you want to think of it as 1 divided by 1, because it's going to be rise over run, then that's fine too. The intercept here, it's always x is 0, y is this number added on without an x. So here it's a negative 1, since there's a negative in front of that 1 or a minus in front of that 1. So these two crucial aspects of the function tell me how to graph it. So if I go over here to the graph, I'm going to always start with my y-intercept. So here my y-intercept, I start at 0, 0, I go down to 0, negative 1, it's over 0, down 1, and that gives me 1 point that's on my line. Now the slope tells me rise over run, so it tells me to rise 1 and go right 1. It's always to the right. So since the slope's positive, I go up 1, and since it's 1 over 1, I go right 1, and that gives me the second point on this line, and my graph should look something like this. Okay, so it goes through here, and if you needed more points, if you're graphing by hand, you just keep going up, draw more points. Always up 1, right 1, up 1, right 1 when the slope is 1. Okay, the second one, g of x equals negative 2x plus 5. The slope here is negative 2. And if you want to think of that as negative 2 over 1, then that's fine too. And the intercept, of course, is going to be 0, this number added on, so it's going to be 0, 5. The intercept tells me where to start, it's the y-intercept, and the slope tells me how to move to get to my second point. So, let's see, I'm going to start at 0, 5, so I start at the origin, I go up to 0, 5, over 0, up 5, that gives me my y-intercept, and then since the slope is negative 2, I know I'm going to rise negative 2, but that means go down because it's a negative amount. So I'm going to go down 2, and then I'm going to go 1 to the right. So I go down 2, and then I go 1 to the right, and that gives me my second point here. Let me make sure everything's lined up just perfect. Okay, I think that's perfect enough. And I can see that these two lines cross right here, and this point is, let's see, over 2, up 1. So this point is 2, 1, and that would be the solution to my system. And that's all there is to that. Okay, I hope this helps. Bye.